All right, so here's the thing. I don't usually recommend watching a Canadian federal leaders debate unless you really have like a specific kink for a certain type of humiliation or procedural decay. And if that's the case, like that's totally fine. But these two debates, the French debate, the English debate on the Wednesday and Thursday night, totally different. Not because it was good, but because it was accidentally just a great honest reflection of what this entire election represents. What we got wasn't a real robust marketplace of ideas or even a clever bit of political theater. It was a tense, chaotic, poorly moderated simulation of exactly what Canadian politics is. A group of people, mostly dominated by men, one pretending not to be a banker, one pretending not to be a cop, one pretending to be a leftist, and then one trying to drag Quebec back to 1995. These four guys stood on the stage and tried to convince a deeply alienated country that they represent a better future. And this debate wasn't just a campaign pit stop. It was very much, like I said, a microcosm of Canada's broader political rot, a system so hollowed out by neoliberal technocracy, by fossil fuel subsidy, and by the underpinning of the settler colonial inertia that is Canada. All of these elements show that its top tier so-called democracy can even hold together a simple leaders debate without cracking under the strict contradictions. And oh boy, did it crack. These two nights were supposed to showcase leadership, but what we saw was kind of a role play, a pantomime of governance. You had Mark Carney, the smooth talking ex-central banker trying to act like he hasn't spent most of his life gently steering capital into safe harbors. You had Pierre Poilievre, the discount Orban cosplay, doing the fake populist thing where he blames elites while name-dropping Galen Weston. And then Jagmeet Singh, the I'm just a scrappy guy routine, dialed up all the way to 11, was basically just trying to punch his way out of irrelevance. And then Yves Monchais, Quebec's favorite self-appointed translator of nationalism that is used for federal leverage, did a great job, at least in the French debate, to really center the point of how, most of federal politics in Canada has to go through Quebec. But the real kicker of this was, even though this debate covered tariffs, the cost of living, crime, climate, and overall leadership in times of crisis, what mattered most was not what they said, it's what was left unsaid. It's what this whole spectacle obscures, and that's this complete collapse of faith in liberal democracy, the total inability of electoral politics to address material suffering, the ever-encroaching creep of fascism disguised as freedom of speech and neutrality. And the most telling part about all this, it's not just the talking points, it was what happened after the debate. On Wednesday night, after the French debate, was just a complete circus, just absolutely deplorable. And then the post-debate media scrum on Thursday night after the English debate was canceled. And it was canceled because right-wing freaks posing as journalists, Rebel News, True North, and I think Juno Media, the usual gang of these crypto-fascist psychos, showed up and overwhelmed the Q&A, not just because of their own volition, but also because of the debate consortium just allowing it to happen. And it completely turned the thing into a circus. And instead of kicking them out, the debate commission folded and cited security concerns, which, in my opinion, is obviously better than allowing them the floor, because what they had said on Wednesday night, and we'll get into it, was just absolutely disgraceful. And again, it's just a perfect encapsulation of where we're at in Canada. These liberal institutions that are too cowardly to draw a line against actual bad faith actors, too neutered by legal precedent and political cowardice to let the difference between free speech and tactical disinformation and crypto-fascism be blurred. And so today I'm going to try to unpack all of this, not just what happened on the debate stage, but what it all represented, the selective framing of these issues, the uneven power dynamics, the cynical media chaos, the moral cowardice of the CBC, and also how Hockey Night in Canada very much managed to retain more national coherence than anything our electoral process could ever achieve. Because This isn't just about who wins on April 28th. It's about how the machine keeps turning even when all the gears are completely stripped. It's about how this illusion of choice gets manufactured. It's about how politics has become a ritual, not just a means of control, not just a tool of social engineering, but it's a ritual that demands our submission. This was a clown funeral, fake as a widow's smile, all for a dying political class and a dying professional managerial class that is sitting here and observing it, which includes me. All right. So I'm here. I'm going to try to just dig through the ashes and see what's left smoldering beneath. It's another episode covering Canada's federal election. Let's go.